So the Monster Mile got the best of me on Wednesday Night Dash. Erik was not feeling pretty good, but
No, I wasn't.
he ended up all right. We're going to talk about his trip to Michigan Speedway, his 2-day trip to Michigan Speedway, and upcoming weekend, the double Indianapolis double this weekend. So this is FR Racing's Garage Talk. I'm DJ Flook,
I'm Eric Richardson,
and it says it on the cup if you're watching. So
Garage Talk GT.
that's right, Garage Talk. GT, a lot of GTs in racing.
There are.
So let's just talk real quick. Dover Monster Mile. You were telling me earlier this week that you might sit this one out because your practice was not going well.
Yeah, I couldn't run 5 laps without smacking the wall or getting loose, and I had no speed whatsoever. I'm like, this is just gonna be a nightmare. There's no point in running. I'm already
and
sitting
yet,
at 2 points after 2 races.
So then we're gonna spoil this right now if you haven't watched it. Erik goes in, finishes fourth, and he's only about 4 seconds off the win.
Yeah, and I was catching there at the end.
What changed? Like, what happened? Like, how can you, like, with me, it's like the opposite. It's like I was practicing really well this week, and then just I got caught up behind a car that there were a couple incidents with that car, and I just lost all my momentum and fell back, and it was, I ended up hitting the wall trying to avoid a wreck, and I was losing too much speed, so I just pulled off and called it with about 20 to go.
I think this one I wasn't as kind of engaged on it, and so I was able to drive more patient and just like, well, whatever. I'm just gonna drive. I wasn't maybe over driving the car at all.
I was.
And that I qualified 8th. I was still 4 tenths off the leaders, actually 6 tenths. And for the race, I just went, I'm going to get into a groove. I was able to drive multiple lines in that first stint, made a couple passes, moved up. I think I ended up like 6th at the break. Did lose a spot early.
I almost sped in the pits during the break. I went about a mile or so over the limit, but then I hit the line. And it was just, come on, don't get me here, and like I was already in the back anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered.
I think I learned just some in that first run, and I just wanted to stay lead lap and just be consistent. Then getting pits, started in 6th, kind of back in that group again. I fell back to 8th like immediately, but just stayed consistent, right in the line, didn't try to do anything crazy or close the gap too quick. And then as those tires started to go, just started getting in there. And I was tire saved the entire time.
Let's see. So it was 20 to go. That would have been about lap 70. So I only had about 20 green flag laps on my tires when I pulled into the pits after my wreck. And I mean, it wasn't a bad wreck. I could keep going, but I was like 2 seconds off the pace. I'm like, I'm going to be screwing this race up for somebody here in about 10 minutes. And I'm just like, I got to get out of here. And I pulled off. But I was at like 68% in my front right. And I'm just like, okay, that.
I actually didn't look, but I felt stable the entire time. I could, even at the very end, I was diving into and holding that low line, and I think just kind of driving conservative really saved the tires and allowed me not to have too much fall off overall.
The was a Mike Tyson quote about everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. That's a perfect analogy for how my night went. I had a good qualifying run. I had a good week of practice, and then
you were helping me out.
I
couldn't figure out what you were doing.
For once, I'm helping you helping you out, and then you come out, and I'm just like, okay, I have a disaster of a race. I'm like, come on, racing gods, please. So,
4th place finish after a couple pretty bad races. I mean, I lost the draft in Daytona. Then Charlotte just had a mental miscue and kind of took away the night.
I wasn't even in Charlotte that week, so it's like I really wanted to do that one. I was really bummed that I got home too late for that, but week off. Watkins Glen.
I was actually looking more forward to Watkins Glen of all things. Me driving a road course. Come on.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah. That's
let alone in a closed car and not an Indy car.
Let's see. Yep, Watkins Glen, and then Michigan, and then we're off for Labor Day, and then Irwindale.
That might be fun.
Irwindale, Highline. Just stay up high.
I will be looking forward to Michigan. Kind of the default home track.
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to spoil Irwindale right now. Keep the high line, come off and brake earlier than you think you would. And I don't know, it's like an 18.8 around Irwindale. Some of the better ARCA drivers can do like an 18, I think like an 18.4, 18.6. So I was pretty happy with that. Whether I hold that for 100 plus laps or whatever we're doing, that's a different question.
I think I've done all of 2 laps at Irwindale so far.
I think you spend more time on the figure 8.
Yeah, I have actually. I was taking everything on that figure 8.
Yeah, for those that don't know, there's a figure 8 with the jump, and you put up a video collection where you were putting just random cars through the figure 8 jump, and
anything I could get through inspection, I was trying to throw out there. I wish the jump was a little bit bigger. Like, felt like I was driving off the curb.
Yeah. So behind closed doors came back this week.
Yeah,
Kentucky,
another good race.
Yeah, good race. You finished second this week.
Yeah. Derek Buescher.
Yeah, Derek joined us in Las Vegas for the finale last season, and almost caught him on that last lap. I think I led one lap and it was lap 99.
Yeah,
I was about to say that I had a decent run on him with 2 to go, and then you just kind of slid there, and it was like, Derek's going.
Yeah, I had a bad 1-2, and I knew like, there's nothing I can do here.
It was one of those where it was obvious, like, unless he screws up, he is gone. If he holds this pretty clean, no catch.
So I managed to overcut the pit stop to come out in front because I came in the lap behind. But lap 80, I had a slight brush against the wall coming out of 2, and that affected me a little bit. It felt like I was driving on ice. But Derek had a great race. He even messaged in Discord afterwards. He's like, I was mirror driving the last 15 laps.
I can imagine. That's I did see that.
That was a great race. Final difference 0.241.
Where are you headed next week?
Iowa.
Iowa,
and then I believe we head off to your favorite track, Laguna.
Laguna Seca, my mortal enemy.
It's actually a lot of fun. We extended the races, and we were running pit strategy. We were dropping down our fuel mapping to 2 and 3 to try to save laps and make it a one-stop race. But then caution comes out, and there you go. Strategy out the door.
We got a couple new drivers in. I'm like, I messaged you yesterday. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go try to get some last minute recruiting, and sure enough, we got 2 more, including an old friend of ours coming back who we haven't seen in a while.
Great to see Brandon out there again.
We gave his number away on Wednesday. Oops, but that's kind of our rule: is if you're gone more than one season, your number's back in the.
Yeah, we got some other new drivers.
That was an accident, actually. Kean has the 41 now, and he asked for the 41. I'm like, well, Brandon hasn't raced with us now in 3 seasons, so I'm gonna just give it to him.
That's okay.
So if he comes back on Wednesday nights, he can fight for it. So they can fight over it.
But if we get everybody out on the open wheel for a race, we could have 12, 14 cars out there. But I know a lot of us are running partial schedules this year.
It's a free league, so we should, adding people as you go shouldn't be a big deal. I mean, this is a long-term project.
And it's something to be there for if that broadcast ban ever gets lifted. We have a league in place, and we'll be ready to race.
They're going to be one of the first IndyCar series back on broadcast if when that happens. Hopefully
And
when, not
we
if.
have to be one of the few that are still running.
I know there were a couple that fell apart, but it is what it is.
And it's a shame. We had some good racing.
They do some really good racing too. I mean, some of these tracks too with that you wouldn't think would be good or haven't been good in real life. Although I guess they haven't run the new Phoenix configuration.
That track is so much fun.
They need to come back and actually promote the race. That on that note,
go back to Phoenix. This new layout is a blast.
The NASCAR probably, I think it's all but confirmed that they'll be back on the oval next year.
Yes,
at the Brickyard, which is great.
They have to go.
I want them back on the. I mean, I didn't realize it was 2020 was last year on the oval.
Yeah, they've been on the road course now for a few years.
I thought it was further back for some reason, but I mean, the last few. I mean, to me, this is still like this is August of 2020. There's no way we've gotten that far.
Well, this weekend, they made a competition change. They moved that start zone back further to try to space them out a little bit more going into turn one.
Good. Ross Chastain cutting the field.
Yep. And the fiasco of turn one.
I don't know what he was thinking there. Where he thought like, I'm going to just finish second here. No, you're not, Ross. You're not. So that's this weekend. NASCAR NASCAR. We got to talk this. You went to Michigan this weekend. You met Hunter.
Yeah, I got to meet Hunter.
You met Hunter
It's
Hughes.
great to do that.
Yeah, it's so far we're at 1-1 as far as like real life meetups. I had lunch with Eli. You met Hunter at the track. I live like I still need to like I can't believe I haven't met Mark Vickers yet. He lives like 15 minutes from me, and I still haven't met him. We've been racing together for a year and a half now, so I need to just like we're going this weekend.
Make that
Let's
happen.
go. We're going this weekend. Let's go.
We need to get a group of us too. I'll pitch in and do the 24-hour of lemons.
I think that would be a lot of fun.
It'd be so much fun. But yeah, Michigan kind of flipped the script, but it was a great race.
It was. I enjoyed it, and I got to see watch it on Monday. I had it up on the TV while I was working, and it was good. Did you go back and hear Tyler Reddick's radio chatter after his pit stop with the lug nut issue?
Yeah, that was in turn 4, and I look over and I see Tyler just sideways. I'm like, oh man, that was a great save.
He was hot. Like I don't think I've ever seen
hot.
He was, yeah, it was surface temperature of the sun hot. And I love NBC's poster. It said, "Count the bleeps."
Yes. That's really cool. I got to sit right there at the restart zone, which was actually really cool. Seeing where the different leaders chose to go. Alex Bowman, when he was up front, was waiting till like the last second. You see him playing bumper cars, trying to start pushing each other, and those restarts were fun to watch.
It was a good race. I think. I mean, the next gen car still has a ways to go. Like we aren't seeing the hard hit injuries like we were last year, which is obviously the most.
And all these cars were backing into the wall that hit.
Yeah, I mean, there were tires going down. That's still an issue.
Yeah, the right rears, that's what caught Chase Elliott. They showed the replay. We could see the entire track from our seats. We were up high enough, and they just showed the replay of Elliott, and it's like, oh, right rear went down. As you could see that puff of smoke.
Was that the problem at Texas? Was it right rears?
It's possible it was.
I mean, there were some hard hits last year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's. I was watching this video that somebody put on Instagram, and it says, the video was called "Tony Stewart Doesn't Like Goodyear Tires." And it's just a video of Tony Stewart over the years complaining about Goodyear tires. And like, if this is the crap they're going to bring us, they need to go find a new tire manufacturer. He goes, these things suck. It's just classic Tony Stewart.
I'm glad it was a good race. It was competitive. There was lots of passing. I think the rain played into it, as it took 2 days to run. I was there for both
19
days
hour
of it.
19-hour red flag.
Yeah.
So the
The
question, do you think Truex would have caught Chris Buescher if he had one more lap?
um caught him, yes. Passed him, I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Fair.
Busher was running a great line. Truex had that run on the inside with like what, 5 to go,
Yeah.
that he starts getting loose and like, oh man.
On the news of Truex, he'll be back next year. No retirement for him. We were just talking about that where we
Yeah,
haven't
he's
heard
having a
it.
great season.
I mean, why would you retire when you're having this good of a season? Just keep going. I mean, if this was if last year, flip the script, if last year was this year, I would think we'd be having a different conversation about that right now.
Hopefully next year isn't last year again, and have him go, why did I stay in here?
Front row announced Michael McDowell and Todd Gilliland will be back next year.
Yep.
Michael McDowell, by the way, super nice dude. Super, super nice. He met him in Phoenix this year, or back in the spring. He comes walking out of his hauler, he was walking out of the hauler, and when we were on our garage tour, my kids, they have no clue who he is. I'm like, they have the hero card sitting at the edge of, there's like a taped off area where their stuff's kind of set up. At the edge of every hauler, there's a hero card for the people, who just happen to walk through. And I just go grab one of those cards and hand it to him. He'll sign it for you. And run over and grab some hero cards and hand it to him, signs it, talk to him for a minute or so. Super, super nice guy. But
speaking of Michigan, I had my Jeff Gordon hat last week, and
yes.
Oh
yeah. You're
here.
not wearing a hat. I'm not.
No, granted, I like a lot of drivers and I like the racing, but I had to update my 24.
So, look at you. It's like the college where they're like picking the hat. And
so I had to update it to the now Raptor and William Byron.
That is a great, that Raptor car. That is such a great look. Like I have that.
You have the diecast.
I have the diecast. This is a good looking car. I mean, that the contrast with that, that, what are you going to call that? Neon green. I mean, that's just a good, clean look. I mean, and it's a really basic design. It's got kind of like that.
Yeah, there's nothing to it, but it's so cool.
Yeah, it's just a very. And I still haven't figured out what RaptorTough.com. Let's look.
I still think of Ford.
Yeah, right. Yeah, all right. RaptorTough.com.
No, speaking of Tyler Reddick, I think Hunter said it. Once you get that diecast, that was a nice looking car.
Was it Rocket League?
Yeah, Rocket League. That's a good car.
Raptor. It is it's like a powder coating, like that you put in the bed of your truck.
Oh, sweet. I don't have a truck, so don't really.
Not anymore. You used to have a truck back in the
long time ago.
Many years ago.
Sonoma.
Yeah, that's right.
That's throwing it back.
Yeah, you had that car for a long time because when we were kids, we used to ride in the back of not the back.
Yeah, I had that through
the two
high school, and then I switched to the Lumina.
Well, yeah, that's right. That's right. But with the truck, like when we were before you were old enough to drive, yeah, they had the two seats in the back that you'd fold down, and your dad would drive us over to the comic store to buy Magic the Gathering cards in that, and then that became your car that we drove to multiple concerts. And I remember you had the big system in the back that I thought was going to shake the truck apart the first time I heard it.
That was fun. I didn't really like it at the time, but I kind of wish I had it back. It was a fun car.
It's
never did a burnout in it either.
I had the old Pontiac Sunbird, and I tried to kill that car, and I just could not kill it. And I did the neutral to drive burnout in it the one day, and you just see it go just fishtailing across the lot. The thing did really good burnouts. That was about the only good thing it would do. I mean, it would smoke from time to time, but that was about it. Overall, Michigan, would you go back again?
Believe it or not, I won't.
Really?
The track was great. Racing was awesome. The parking situation and getting out of there and actually getting in, if it's not timed right, was horrendous.
Wow. I mean, it
Out
doesn't
of
look like
all
there's much
the
out there.
races and concerts and baseball games and football games and hockey games I've been to, the worst traffic I've ever seen. The management of it
That's crazy.
is has to be non-existent. Like
It's
I
just a
actually
free for
want to
all.
call. No, it's state patrol helps, but you have multiple lines merging into one spot, and it's not good. Like I want to call Michigan Speedway and go,
What in
what
the
are you
world?
doing? Like it should not take an hour plus to get out of a parking lot.
All right, so we're gonna go on a screen share here and look at the map. I want to see what you did here. This was
So
not
we
planned.
actually parked in two different spots each day, or one on Saturday or Sunday, whatever day it was. One on Sunday, one on Monday. There we go.
All right, so
It's weird to be sitting at a race on a Monday afternoon at noon.
All right, so here's the track. This is Brooklyn, Michigan. So if we zoom out a little bit,
There's nothing there.
There's like literally nothing there. Okay, so here's I-94 that you take to go to Detroit. And where is I-69? It's got to be back here somewhere.
It's
back here. So I'm guessing you went down 94 and then cut down through Jackson.
Yeah, we took 94 over the first day, and then we were actually up in Lansing, so we took 127 down and came in on the south side of the track.
I mean, this is things like I saw there's like a farmhouse out here behind the backstretch.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, there's a Sunoco over here. A couple campgrounds. I mean, this place is literally in the middle of nowhere. JR's Hometown Grill and Pub.
Yeah, we drove by it, but it said it was open on Sundays, but they were closed. Go
figure. Liars. So where did you park here then?
So we parked there on the north side of the track. I guess it'd probably be
Brookfest that Acres Plus, whatever that means.
Yeah, that's the big parking lot. So we parked there. They have multiple rows running out. They'd go off to the left there.
Oh yeah, okay.
And they're all turning right. You couldn't go left at that point.
Got some RVs over here, it looks like.
So if you go a little to the north, get right there, a little to the left. So you have that parking lot dumping out, turning right. You can go straight there on Brooklyn Road, or you could turn right on Doherty Road.
Yep.
But they had it blocked there at 50, so you could only turn left.
Of course. So now you're back.
Traffic coming from the left. You have the campground dumping out right there, having to turn left. So now if you go north, here's the fun part. You go north, 50 runs into Brooklyn Road. You had three lanes of traffic merging into two. And then a little further up the road, you have two lanes merging into one lane.
And you go to Dollar Tree or Great Lakes Ace. Oh, hey, big boy.
Then right there by the big boy, there's a stoplight right there.
Do they have a giant big boy in front of there? We gotta look.
They do.
They do.
There he is. On the left.
Yeah, there he is. How about that? May 2023. That's awesome. Big boy.
So then you have a state patrol operating the stoplight, but it's still basically a normal light. So you can't move traffic.
Brooklyn Airport. Where's the runway? Is that it?
It might be that. It might be like a prop nesting airport.
Oh man. Wow. All right. Well, that was so the parking situation, not great.
No, worst I've ever experienced.
Side note, so my cousin, and I'm not going to say I have multiple cousins. I'm not going to identify which one. So my cousin for his or her senior prank went and stole the big boy. And this group, they stole the big boy, they put it into the back of a pickup truck, and they went to this high school that had like one main end. It's one of those old school high schools that had one main entrance. It was a decent sized school. And they put the big boy and just wedged it right up against the front door of the school.
That's awesome.
He couldn't get the main doors open. I mean, there are obviously other doors for fire code, but you couldn't get them. It's right at the bus lane. They have the main doors dropped off, and you couldn't get most of the doors open because the big boy's blocking the door, and they had to get somebody to come in and haul that thing out of there. But yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Stealing the big boy. It's like, isn't Dr. Evil and Austin Powers, didn't he escape in a flying big boy? Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't been to a big boy in years. The other thing with big boy too is there were like different versions of it. Do they still do that? I haven't lived in the Midwest in a long time.
I don't know. I just drive by and like, hey, there's a big boy.
There's the big boy. Like,
I've only eaten there like once.
So the ones that were in like Ohio and Indiana, it was like Frisch's big boy.
Yeah, I remember Frisch's.
Yeah, it was Frisch's
big boy at this point.
Yeah, they dropped all the names. I thought it was something named after like the franchise owner, I think. But then like if you go further east, like into West Virginia and into Pennsylvania, it was like Bob's Big Boy.
That I couldn't tell you. I remember hearing Frisch's, but I just know it is like Big Boy.
We can get Big Boy to sponsor us.
That'd be pretty cool.
Big Boy restaurants.
I think there's actually still one in Fort Wayne.
There are 66 locations left in the US. There are 2 in Thailand. There are 84 still called Frisch's Big Boys. But it looks like they dropped the the early versions of the West Coast Big Boy was 16 feet tall. The Big Boy hamburger. Yeah, Big Boy. How about that? Shout out to Big Boy.
That would be a fun car.
You got the guy with the holding up the hamburger on your hood. I guess we'll have to search trading paints. I have to look now. Trading. So we're not full of dead air. Indy this weekend. We got the Indy double. And IRP for the trucks.
Indianapolis, busy weekend. Much better parking situations. Yes, I actually toyed with going back down to watch the Cup race, but
don't push your luck.
The nice thing is I can be at the Speedway in like 3.5 hours from.
Yeah, I mean that's not too bad. You're lucky because you've got multiple options within a couple of hours. I don't. I mean, I have Phoenix Raceway 45 minutes away, and then after that, Las Vegas is like 4.5 hours. Auto Club is 5. I'm not even going to talk about.
I'm actually looking at maybe planning a trip over to the Indy at Mid Ohio next year.
That would be fun.
Go check that one out.
So far, I do not see. Hey, I see. Here's a Big League Chew Legends car.
Nice. Ooh, Big Boy on a Legends. There we go.
Oh, here's a ARCA with the classic Ryan Newman blue Altel.
I really want to go down to Nashville for the Cup race there too.
Yeah, no Big Boy car. That's a little disappointing. You can get a Taco Bell car.
No, I still need to actually upload my Mach 5 to Trading Paints.
Yeah, that was a good car. Derek's running that, isn't he?
Yeah, the car Derek won behind closed doors and was actually one made by me.
So you get like 50% of the credit for that win.
Yeah, half that win's mine. Sorry, Derek. I still had a part in the victory.
Yes, there's a silent, a little hidden disclaimer that by you using a car designed by you, win is mine.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to building paints. Everything's going to be unique. I'm not going to recreate anything.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, off week for Wednesday Night Dash next week. Iowa for... Do I jump in and do Iowa next week?
Yeah, go for it. Not racing on Wednesday. Why
Not
not?
racing on Wednesday.
Come join us.
It's just getting away for two. I've said this before. Getting away 2 days a week before my kids go to bed is, let's just say, the discussion afterwards is not pleasant. One's fine, but Iowa. I haven't run Iowa in an Indy car.
Iowa's a lot of fun. It's fast. It's the world's fastest short track.
It is. It's you can run the high line. Show you what Jimmy did.
I really like the midline there.
We'll see how my I'll give it a whirl. We'll see how the practicing goes.
Yeah, there we go.
If it goes okay, I guess I'll be there Tuesday night. So
yes. Hey,
well,
if you're looking for something to do, come on out and join us.
Yeah, it's free. Like, come
free
on,
entry.
help us save the IR18
champion.
Yeah, help us save the IR18. Let's get this league built up. We've got some good numbers,
and you see we get some great races and close finishes.
Some bums like me who pop in from time to time. So
and almost win the race.
And almost win the race. It's got to become a running joke that it's like, if I'm competitive, the rest of you should be ashamed of yourselves. It happens, you know. So don't forget AFSP 200, September 17th. Go sign up. We want to get this thing rolling. We got some prizes ready. We got to do this. Let's move.
This can be a good race. It'll be a lot of fun.
Michigan in the next gen. Michigan in the next gen fixed configs. It'll be a lot of fun. Was it 50? Yeah, it's 50% race, I guess.
Yeah, 100 laps.
So
you don't have to worry about rain.
Nope, no rain. But soon, iRacing will have their rain. The question with the rain when they roll that out is it. I mean, it's all the clips in the previews you've seen have all been like GT type racing, which obviously that's, they're made for that. Do you think they will bring in the NASCAR rain package at any point into the rain?
I don't know.
Or maybe. I mean, maybe not with the licensing or with the IR18, the rain tire.
I bet the Indy won't, but I can maybe see NASCAR doing it. Maybe not in the initial rollout, but in a phased entry.
Oh man, so that'll be a lot of fun. Oh well, I have 3 hours earlier, and I'm the one who's yawning. So at F4 Racing Online, f4racingonline.com. Thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, especially if you're on Spotify. Subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, take care.